Tonight we're working on a technique that, well, not a technique, working on a drill that I haven't done in a while, so take your time to brush up on it. This works really good for building better discipline with your sayabiki, learning to draw by pulling the saya back as opposed to pushing the blade out. This becomes most useful and shines the most in close quarters techniques where you're already within grappling range of your opponent and you don't have room to draw because they're in the way. So how do we overcome that? Well, we learn to draw by moving our body, and we learn to draw by using different angles. So just as it's difficult to draw or sheath directly in front of me, instead of doing it directly in front of me, I'm going to shift and I can draw off to my side. This can set me up for a stab or a cut from the other side, things like that. This is a very easy drill to practice. I use my bokken when I'm doing it, just so if I do hit the wall, I'm not scuffing it with a metal blade and I'm not scratching one of my iaidos, or I definitely wouldn't use a shinken for this, just because if I mess up, it causes more damage to the wall and more damage to my blade. So I like to start out about this distance, and then we go from here. So using actual techniques, for example, Tenshinryu has a technique where you strike with your tsuka and knock their hand away from their blade, simultaneously strike to the face, and then you draw, cross cut to the face, strike to the face with your tsuka, and then cut down as you step back. It's an example of a technique where this becomes useful, or where this space is used. Other methods of drawing, you can draw up, immediately push the blade back down, and then I can use my hand from down here to cut up. Or, as you see me do in the past, you can brace off of your forearm as well. So I'll draw up, and use my forearm to cut. You can flip. You can use your shoulder to cut with the point of the blade, driving force into it. If you do this, be careful that I'm dropping my knee as I turn, and I'm pivoting on my toe in order to get this rotation. I'm not dropping my knee to the inside. It might look like I am, but I'm not doing this. I'm doing this and dropping it in. If you do this, you'll hurt yourself. You'll end up with a brace worse than what I have. Okay? Some other options. Again, we can strike with our tsuka. We can do this low to high cut. We can do a cross to the face and throat. We can go high over the shoulder and then come in with a stab. Another thing that helps with doing these drills is a loose grip as you're drawing. Having a loose grip allows me to change my grip angle and aids in getting the sword out in a tight space before I tighten my grip. If I have a tight grip, as I try and do this, if my grip is tight already, I'm going to struggle more to get this extension. Whereas if my grip is loose, I can clear much more easily. So far, everything we've done by manipulating the angle of our draw. So some other ways we can overcome this distance issue by moving our hip and our body. So instead of overcoming that angle of the draw, I can press my tsuka into my opponent, flip my blade to be a reverse, remove my saya, and then come up with a cut. Similar fashion, I can strike and press into them, remove that blade, or the saya, and then come across with a cut. Come down. This is seen in another Tenshinryu technique where you step back, up, and then step back and cut.